right, good evening. Hey, so first and foremost, I just want to thank everyone for showing up. If you look outside, it's been a rainy day, and people are doing whatever they do on Thursday evenings, afternoons. But tonight is special because we're welcoming a new class of people that have dedicated themselves to learning who they are and more about how they can lead effectively within the community. And the rest of us have taken time that have been there to come back and welcome you in with open arms and encourage you for this next year of why, one, so that you know why you're doing this, but two, to encourage you to follow through. And so, not everybody out there, as we know, cares truly about things around them. And so the fact that you're here says numbers. It says numbers about your employers. A lot of you guys were sponsored by your employers. Can we get a round of applause for the companies that invest into their employees? Because we all know that it's not cheap to go through this. This costs a lot of money, and so the fact that there's an investment being made on you says something about what your bosses think about you. And so take that and soak it up. I'm going to use that term here tonight. Soak it in like a sponge. All right. I put together some notes. I'm going to do the orange thing and not really go detailed with it and kind of go off the fly by the seat of my pants here, or however that term goes. My grandpa was a World War II torpedo bomber in the Pacific, and he would tell me some stories, but a lot of times all their instrument panels went out the window when it came time to engage because there was just so much chaos. You had to know how to fly just by the feel of the aircraft, all right? But you don't just get in an aircraft and figure that out. You got to get those hours in. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is leadership starts before the title. Why do you want to be a leader? And what is a leader? Does anybody know what a leader is? Don't raise your hand, Russ, and not answer. Yeah, so it's as simple as that. Someone you follow. So there's lots of different styles and levels of leadership, but the important thing that you got to know if you want to be a leader is you got to know yourself. And that's one thing that you're going to learn in day one. I thought I was a gold, and the entire class convinced me I was an orange, so I just stopped debating and it went over there. And then things kind of worked out a little bit. Because if you think you're something over here, but you're actually over here, you're starting off with the wrong foot. And you're not going to be able to effectively move to where you want to move until you get to know yourself. And getting to know yourself means getting to know your strengths, but it also means getting to know your weakness. And it's okay to admit you have a weakness. That's one of the things in a leader that if you try and act like you don't have a weakness and compensate for it all the time, you're out of balance. You just need to admit, hey, this is my weakness. I'll tell you one of my biggest weaknesses is spelling, right? I can't spell for nothing, right? Thank God for auto spell, all right? But I have to be honest with yourself. You know, I can write, but I can't spell good, right? Other people can spell good, but they can't write. So you got to find that happy medium and know how to partner with the right people. The other thing is you have a lot of talent. And you got to find it. You know, recently I went through, obviously I just went through a campaign for an election, and I got asked a lot of questions, and one of the questions I didn't really know how to answer really caught me off guard, and Hannah was there, was, what do you do for fun? Woo, that'll catch you off guard, because I get so work-minded, so mission-minded, that sometimes I'm like, well, that's a good question. What does Ben do for fun? Right? So I had to take a step back and really do some self-reflection. And this course is going to help you figure that out in many different ways. So what do you do for fun? Put that in your kit bag. All right. The other thing is getting to know the people around you. To be an effective leader, you need people to follow you. So how do you do that? You got to know them. You got to know what their interests are. What are their skills? What are their talents? Because what you don't want to do is waste talent. You want to have talent management. And so to do that, you really have to get to know them. How do you get to know them? You can ask them a question like, hey, who knows how to, change the oil in their car? Who does? Raise your hand. Russ? Okay, so if I have a problem, or I know someone that has a problem that needs oil changed, I can go to one of these people over here that know how to do it. What I don't want to do is send them to somebody that has no idea how to even start a car. Okay? But we do that a lot. We sit there and like, well, this person has a title. Go over there and send them to that title instead of that talent. All right? So understand that. Get to know the people around you effectively. Okay. Once you know how to get to know each other, you need to get to know the community. Get to know Pulaski County. If you want to lead in Pulaski County, you need to know your terrain. For instance, one of the most fascinating things that I got to learn here in Pulaski County, and Mayor Sean was actually part of this, is I had no idea that half the time I'm driving around in Waynesville, I'm driving over a cave full of water that goes to the depths of the unknown. And that just got me thinking, I hope these roads and streets are done really well, because I would fall in. And there's a movie out there, a little video clip of the dive that was, how long ago was that dive? A couple years ago? Where they went in the cave and...
That was some years ago. I can't tell you what year it is, but it is on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. If you want to see something creepy, go watch that, because I didn't realize it went that far down. So the Ruby Doo Spring, you can actually go in there. And they do. There's a dive shop there if you actually want to get into that stuff right downtown. And they'll teach you how to do all that. I'm not getting in no cave and doing that. Nope. But I'll watch it on YouTube. Leadership also means service, all right? If you want to be a leader, I want you guys to ask yourself this question. Are you willing to do the service? Are you willing to do the things that you're going to lead people to do? Or are you just going to be somebody that sits behind the desk and says, hey, go do that? There's different types of leaders, but I fully believe that a most effective leader is out there with the people that they're leading, and they're leading them. They're showing them the way so they can follow, and you're providing the tools, resources, and the direction that they need. You're encouraging them. So a leader is also going to develop junior leaders, subordinate leaders, right? Because we're not here to be a king, we're here to be a leader, and part of being a leader is looking at the future and making sure that we have the younger generation coming up behind us and able to handle it, because you'll know if you're an effective leader when you step away from that job, or you have to go do something. How does that system work without you? Did you train the people around you to do your job effectively? They may do it differently, but did they do it effectively? Are they able to continue that mission without you? And if not, you have work to do as a leader. Okay? All right, here we go. I love this one. This one will get you in trouble, but I love this one. Don't wait for permission. There's too many meetings about meetings, about meetings, about meetings. Anybody agree? Guys, at some point you have to do action. So you can talk about the greatest ideas in the world, but if you don't action those plans, you're going to go nowhere. So my encouragement to you guys is when you're going through this course, is to look for things that you can do and then go action those plans. Even if you don't have a perfect plan, go action them. And then during the plan, figure out how you can modify it, shift it around, make adjustments, but get it moving, get the ball rolling. Because once you get that ball rolling and somebody starts to follow you, you're now a leader. And then the next thing you know, there's another one and another one. And as you get more people and more support, that ball's going to be effectively rolling, but is it being steered in the right direction? You got to ask yourself that. You're going to get momentum. As the leader, you got to make sure the momentum that's coming is going in the right direction. You're going to get criticized no matter what you do. So you're going to have some thick skin as a leader. I learned that a lot this last year. All right? You're just going to have some thick skin. Don't take somebody's criticism personal. All right? Somebody's going to say, first of all, we live in a world where there's just flat out mean people. All right? You're just going to have to write that one off. But at the same time, we live in a world where there's a lot of good ideas out there, and you're never going to make everyone happy. But you're going to get criticized. Being able to accept that criticism and maintain your composure is something that, as a leader, you need to learn how to do. Because what you say and do, you're being watched. Okay? When I say something on social media, I know that the world is watching. I know that there's teenagers in this community watching what I say and what I do, how I respond to criticism. Oh man, woo, something bad was said. What's Ben gonna say? They're watching my response. And as a leader, they're watching you. Who here has kids? All right, same thing. In your own household, they're watching you. They're watching mom and dad. How are they responding to certain things? So just keep that in mind. It's a big responsibility to be a leader, and not everyone is cut out for it. I'm going to say that again. Not everyone is cut out for it. You have to be willing to do what's right, stand up for what you believe, and be willing to take some criticization. All right, don't ask me how to spell that word that I just said. And bear with me for a second. If I seem a little drowsy, I just came from the ER. I'm okay, but I had some kidney stones, and I had to get a ride here. That's why we're running a little bit late. But yeah, it was not a fun morning for me. So, anyways, you need to get outside your circle as a leader. Okay. Too many times I see too many cliques, and cliques destroy people. Because what cliques do in your inner circle is keep a lot of people out. And you got to be willing to get outside your, and I'm not saying having a circle is bad. Everyone should have an inner circle of people they can trust and rely on and go to. But don't use your inner circle as a way to keep people out. If you want to be a leader, that means you need to get out there and lead. You want people to follow you, so you need to be willing to go see. Again, you're not going to get to know them if you're always in your clique. Think about yourself and how you feel when you're not in that circle, when you see a circle sitting over there and I can't go over there. You don't want to be that guy. So don't. The leader's going to set the tone in the room. You see someone sitting there, hey, let's get this person over here and bring them in. Let's find out who they are. Let's talk to them. Make them feel welcome. Who here is sort of hospitality? As a leader, you got to learn hospitality, because you're really to provide purpose and motivation and direction and the tools and resources. You got to know how to welcome them in and make them feel at home, because nobody wants to work for anybody that they feel ostracized with. All right, make them feel part of the group. And the screensaver is what's killing me over here. I have some challenges for you guys in class 14. I want you to find a problem that you can't solve. I want you to find an organization that you can support that's different than you've supported since you've been here in Pulaski County. I want you to find a person you can mentor while you're here. I want you to find a relationship in the class that you can continue long after graduation. Meaning, some of you guys are going to see each other like this in casual events, but I want you guys to find at least one person in your class that you're going to dedicate to building up and being there for life, no matter what. It's a good challenge. And I want you to discover something about yourself that you don't know when you walked in. Like me, I was an orange. Sure, I knew I had orange in me, but I thought I was a gold looking at these different things. And sometimes it takes other people who see you the most to tell you, Ben, that's not who you are, this is who you are. Because we all look in the mirror and we do our hair, and this is who we think we are when we look in that mirror, but what we don't see is how we are when we walk away from that mirror. And that's who you truly are. And, okay, I want to close on this. This is real simple, all right? But Pulaski County doesn't need 20 more people with certificates saying they completed a leadership program. They don't. We have tons of leaders. What they need is 20 more people who are willing to show up. I want you to think about what I just said. We don't need any more leaders with titles. We don't need any more leaders with certificates. We need leaders that show up. Because you can have all the titles and certificates on your pretty desk. If you're not showing up, you're not leading. All right? And so my challenge for class 14, one is make sure you show up, because you can only miss 8 hours, right? Or you'll be class 15. And but 2, show up. Be dedicated to the ones. If you want to lead somebody, you show up. You want to lead them. You want to be there for them. You want to get to know them, their families, what's important to them, what's going on in their life. Not just, oh, hey, what's up, Hannah? How was your day? See, sometimes we ask, how was your day, but we don't really care about how their day was. We're just checking a block to say hi. My challenge is to make it personal as a leader. Good leaders know who they're leading. So get to know them, and they will take care of you while you take care of them. That's pretty much it. There's not much more to it besides soak it in like a sponge, because you're going to have days that you will just blow your mind. One of my favorite days was going out to the Boiling Spring campgrounds. That was super fun. I had no idea that place existed, and it's beautiful out there, and it's right there off of PP Road, which is the name PP Road. Some of the roads we have around here. Okay, who named that one? But I just want to encourage you. Life's short. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and so look around at the people in this room. And when you go outside, we have this thing in the Army called check your 525s. That's before you get out of the truck. Check your 5-meter radius to make sure you're not stepping on a bomb, and then you check your 25-meter radius to make sure you're not stepping on a bomb. Okay? Because sometimes we get tunnel vision, and there's so many people in this community that are hurting really bad right now. They're hurting. They're trying to figure out where they're going to come up with the next paycheck to pay their next meal, or provide for their family, or put gas in their car. So as a leader, when you start to get momentum and things are going well for you, I want you to look around and understand that it's not going well for everyone. And what can you do to make a difference today, not tomorrow, even though I love Trey's thing, take your problems, give them to God today, so that tomorrow you don't have to deal with them. I know it's not verbatim, but that's the point, right? But what can you do today to help this community? What can you do today to help Kyle? What does Kyle need help with today? Because people need help today. They don't need help in the future. They might, they probably will, but the people that are calling for help, that are scared to ask for it, they need it today, they need it now. And you guys, if you have been blessed, please share those blessings with the people around you, because as a whole, the point of being a leader in Pulaski County is not to pad your own wallet and make yourself awesome. It's to help the community become awesome with each other. And so we gotta take care of each other. We have to. Because if you lose, and I know I talked about this before, but I don't know if the new logo has it, but Pulaski County had the logo that had the heart in it for the eye. It would say Pulaski, and that always stuck out. It was one of the first things I noticed when I came here. And it's true. I looked around, and as I've looked here, I've seen a lot of people that love each other, that take care of each other. And I love seeing that. We don't have to wait on the government to come take care of us. We can take care of each other. That's what leaders do. And so that's my challenge take care of one another, learn, soak it in like a sponge, get to know yourself, get to know other people, learn to take some criticism. Don't always wait for permission, just go for it. I mean, seriously, go for it. If we had to get permission to do everything we did, we wouldn't have a country we live in today. So I'm pretty sure our founding fathers didn't ask the king, can we start a new country? They said, no, we're done with that. We have an idea, and we're going for it. And look at us, we live in the best country in the world 250 years later. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it's okay to not be perfect. And it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to have those flaws that you have, those strengths that you have. Just know them, know what they are, and know how to navigate around them, and know how to build your team with strengths, knowing that there's disadvantages within that team too, but build your team that way, and you'll be just fine. Thank you guys for letting me come and talk. Class 13, you're still the best class. I just want to thank Cecilia, where you at? Can we give her a round of applause? She does way more than people realize, and I'm calling you out on it. You know, I'm very grateful. I've seen you. I know we've had some one-on-one conversations, but you care genuinely about this community. She's put her blood, sweat, and tears in it. Doesn't get paid enough to do any of that. And I hope that you enjoy your retirement. And listen, and she'll show us. She's a leader in this community. She's going to retire, but she's still going to lead in this community. You don't have to have a title to be a leader. Okay? Remember what we started this with. Who's a leader? It's somebody to follow you, right? But make sure you use that in a good way. All right, that's all I got.